Today I'm going to be giving you 9 tips to become the it girl or that girl of your dreams, whatever that looks like to you. More specifically on my channel, I like to empower women to feel their most feminine, best, kindest, loving, elegant, articulate self. So if this aligns with you, you came to the right place. I don't even love that girl or it girl content because I'm like, who is that girl? Who is the it girl? We don't know. Like, it's whatever you want it to be. If I was watching someone when I was younger and they were giving me these tips, I would be like where I am now 5 times sooner, because I would have just skipped through the phase of doing whatever I saw everyone else doing and I would already be this girl yesteryear. Also, side note, don't ask about my hair. It is a paid actor today. My hair just decided to do whatever it wanted and we're just gonna allow it to be big and poofy. And so the first thing that you're gonna do to be the it girl of your dreams, and something that I wish that I had taken into consideration sooner, is creating a consistent brand for yourself. When I say brand, I'm not talking about become an entrepreneur, start a company, create an LLC. No, I mean, start to create things and align with things that resonate with who you are in your core being. There was a time where if you said coffee, someone was like Deandra. If you said peanut butter, someone would associate that with Deandra. Now my brand is like matcha, wellness, healthy, Pilates, tennis, well-spoken, articulate. I've started to consistently do or associate myself with these certain things that if you know me and you follow me on social media or you know me in real life, as soon as someone says Erewhon, they're like, oh yeah, Deandra. Created that association because that is my brand. That is who I am. Those are the things that I love. Those are the places that I frequent. So if you really want to be someone who is that girl, who is powerful, who has a good foundation, start creating a brand for yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what I said, but if you really love nudes or the color pinks, or you love fried food and whatever it may be, you start to associate yourself with those things because you're doing those things consistently or you're showing up in those spaces consistently. If you are trying to create a brand and you're in somewhere that does not align with your brand consistently, you need to ask yourself, why am I here? If you want to be the wellness girly who's in shape, why are you still going to the club every weekend, or why are you still eating fast food all the time? Creating a brand for yourself will actually slowly shape your life into exactly what you want, because you're like, oh, I'm not just doing this as a fluke, I'm actually being aware and I'm starting to tailor my existence based on this brand that I'm creating for myself. The second thing that is really important to becoming the it girl is changing your root behaviors. I'm not gonna get into this too much because if you watch literally any of my other videos, I talk about getting through your traumas, I talk about changing the instilled behaviors in yourself, I talk about being disciplined, because honestly, everything starts at the root. You can't dress up a pig and call it a horse because it still looks like a pig. You can't put makeup on something and call it what it is just because it looks like that thing if it really isn't that thing. So you wanna make sure that whatever you want to be in this life, if you want to be the it girl that is aligned with certain things, again, this is your journey. This is for you. This is not for me. So I can't tell you exactly what I am going to do in this situation when it comes to changing the root behavior. Only you know that. But know that you have to change on the inside before the outside is actually going to be confirmed by your existence and everyone around you. The reason that changing your root behaviors is so important is because it becomes an energy. You know when someone's really sad and they're wearing a smile and you can literally feel their sadness or you can see it in their eyes? It is the same exact thing. So when you want to pretend to be something, or you're dressing up because you want to align with something, but you still haven't changed on the inside and your root behaviors still are the same as whatever you used to be or whatever you're not aligned with, people pick that up. People read it. And so go back and watch any of my other videos. If you have any questions on something that is not mentioned as far as getting to the root of a problem, let me know and I'll add that to the list. Next is stop changing your mind too frequently on things that you really believe to be true. What I mean by this is people who do not know themselves are constantly being influenced to change their core opinions by other people. You really want to make sure that you know yourself, because similar to the energy that I talked about at changing the root behaviors is similar to someone who knows themselves. I have people all the time tell me, oh, you know yourself. And it's weird because I remember when I first heard someone say, oh, you really know yourself, I was really thrown off, because there are a lot of things that I still am indecisive about in my life, but there are core fundamental things that I do and I stick to that people know that I will not budge on. I'm the kind of person, if I go out and I don't want to drink and I say no, no one is convincing me to have a drink. Not because not because I don't want to have fun, but because my core belief in that moment is I don't want to feel badly the next day and I'm not easily influenced to change a core fundamental value or belief that I have in that moment. That's like someone saying they never want to get tattoos and they're out with their friends and everyone's getting a tattoo and they're like, oh, it'll be fun, it's just one time. But whatever your core fundamental value of not wanting a tattoo originally is, and you change your mind, you don't know yourself, because you know that later in life you're going to regret getting that tattoo, or you know the next morning you're going to regret getting that tattoo. And that's just like a simple, easily, obviously it's not the best example, but it's something where if you have a fundamental belief that you really hold to because it makes your life better, don't always be changing your mind just because the other people around you are trying to convince you that it's more fun or you're too uptight or whatever it is, because you don't know yourself if that's the case. And to be that girl, you need to know yourself. You need to have belief in yourself, because again, people pick that up. The next thing is you really want to slow things down. In order to be more refined and elegant and well-spoken and just give like a presence of confidence, you just need to learn how to slow down. Now, I talk really fast. If you've met me in person, I walk really fast. I do everything in life really fast. And it was definitely a nervous system problem, and something that I still work on. Moving too fast, whether you're rushing to get groceries, you're walking really fast for absolutely no reason, you're talking really fast because you think the person that you're talking to is going to zone out of whatever you're saying or not pay attention until you finish the end of your sentence. Slow it down, because that's none of your concern. Slowing down is not only going to help you actually calm down in your nervous system as a person, but you're going to make less errors, you're going to sound more articulate. And slower people, if you've noticed, if you watch people in power, they don't rush for anybody. They literally do not rush for anybody. If someone is holding a door, they will walk. They will not pick up their speed. They will not jog to the door that someone is holding, because they know that they are worthy of that person waiting on them. You are worthy of moving a little bit slower. It just exudes a confidence. It just makes you look like you know what you're doing, and you look less frazzled. One of the things I didn't realize in the past is that when you're moving too fast and you're frantic and you're always like in a rush and you're doing this, people are like, whoa, you're really anxious, or you're stressing me out. You seem really insecure, because people who, exude insecurity are just like always trying to appease by moving around and doing whatever. Slow it down. It might be hard for you to get a hang of this. And again, these are like small little behavioral changes that are just gonna make you just appear so much more powerful, so much more elegant, and just like that girl. I swear that like in another life, I was meant to be like Indian or Middle Eastern, because my love for gold jewelry and adorning myself is just on another level. The next thing is wearing dainty jewelry or customizing whatever jewelry that you're wearing to your personality. I think that it's really beautiful and feminine and elegant when people have small pieces of jewelry on that are just really unique to who they are as a person. Whether you're a silver person or a gold person or whatever it is, having some kind of jewelry on is just like a really elegant feature about yourself. It makes you a little bit more unique. To me, wearing jewelry is like a sign of decadence or like adoration, something that you care about, you're really gonna invest into. So like wearing really beautiful pieces of jewelry, whether they're heirlooms or you purchased them and they were really intentional, it's like you love yourself, like it's your adorning yourself. And I think that for me, that's really important, even from like a cultural perspective, is like having that little piece of something on that's like, I really care about myself and I want you to know that I care about myself. When I have no jewelry on, I'm like, I'm naked. If I have no jewelry on, I must be going through an MRI machine, because there's no way that I've left the house without my Oura ring, without a stack, without my, earrings in, whatever it may be. But it just makes you look a little bit more dressed up. It makes you look a little bit more soft. It makes you look a little bit more girly. And it is just like a way of showing your personality through like the smallest little cues. Because people who notice your jewelry, whenever someone notices like my ring, this like small little ring stack, I'm like, oh, you're paying attention. You're really evaluating me. And it's also a great conversation starter. So always leaving the house with a little piece of jewelry on, I just feel like it's just so elegant. And it's a really great way to just have your personality be shown through like the littlest cues. That's why in this, the jewelry that you choose just has to be unique to yourself. Like it really has to scream, this is my personality, through whatever jewelry you decide to pick for yourself. Use perfume to be recognizable and to stand out and not just smell good. This is something that I've always known, because I am obsessed with perfumes. I love perfumes. I swear like 100 at this point. Using perfume as a way to stand out and be remembered versus just smelling like everybody else. Like whenever there's trends and you see like the really viral perfumes that everyone smells really good, sometimes those can be so common that the next person smells like this and the next person smells like this, and there's so many dupes. And while it's great, because a lot of times like with social media now that happens, but you want something that is consistent to you as a person, you to your brand. And so when someone smells you, they're gonna either remember you, or they're gonna associate that scent with you. Right now, I am loving ouds. I'm loving like a combination of oud and sweet at the same time, but I also really love earthy scents because I want to smell like something that's naturally occurring on this earth. Some of my favorite brands are Maison Kirk de Jean. They have satin oud, which is like so beautiful and so unique, and anytime I smell it on someone, I'm like, you know something. I also really love Aesop. I feel like they have scents that are really unique and earthy. Marrakesh is really good, Tacit is really good, Adisis is really good. These are the perfumes that I wear, and I feel like they just give like an essence of earth, and they're almost like a little bit odd when you first smell them. You're like, it's not that you don't like them, but they're very unique and like spicy and like just like slightly different and rooted in something a little bit herbally. And for me, that just aligns with my brand. And it also aligns with the conversation starter that I was saying. When you're wearing something that someone finds unique, they're usually gonna be like, what are you wearing? It just adds this extra allure to who you are. Even though as a wellness girly, they are not the best for you, but they still, you know, there's brands out there that are making cleaner perfumes. However, I just feel like perfume is something that is just so unique. The next thing that is so important, and it might feel like duh, like this is obvious, but it's actually not obvious to a lot of people, is you need to date men who are kind to you. This is like such a sign of how much self-respect and self-love that you have. Is like if you're listening to one of your homegirls, you're listening to someone that you just met, and they're always talking about how their ex was so horrible to them, how their ex abused them, how their ex cheated on them, and they stayed with them and they held them down. I'm kind of like, do you love yourself? You know, what was going on in that situation? And it kind of makes me feel like, you know, we all do make mistakes, and not saying that I've never made mistakes in my past, because trust, like there's men in the past where I let them treat me a certain way because I was really young. I'm like, now that I know better, how can I keep putting myself in situations where people are treating me badly when I don't even treat me badly? Like, I treat me like a princess, so why am I putting myself in situations with partners who wouldn't treat me like I treat myself? And that's also the biggest thing, is like, look how you treat yourself, and that's the treatment that you should expect from a partner, and vice versa. If they treat themselves really well, you should also treat them well. Of course, treat everyone like you would like to be treated, the golden rule, that goes without saying. But it's like, stop being with men who don't treat you right. Boom, simple, it's easy. Because you are that girl, and you just need to have self-respect, and that comes off. Like, again, when you see people in unhealthy relationships and it's like the most feminine, sweetest, like self-righteous girl, but she has an abusive boyfriend, or she has a boyfriend that you know is like constantly being mean to her or mistreating her or whatever, or cheating on her, whatever it may be, it like completely just makes you feel like that girl does not love herself. Like, she's doing so much to care for herself, but she's like actively in a harmful relationship. She's 2 and 2 is not making sense. So it's like, really try to invest in people who care about you, who are kind to you because you're kind to you. Next one is the realization that being solid doesn't always mean that you stand out at first. It's like the saying that all this glitter isn't gold. The more that you really love yourself, the more that you become that girl, you're not always gonna stand out in a crowd. I know it sounds like the opposite of what it should be, but you're not gonna catch the eye of people at first, because sometimes it's the loudest, sometimes it's the most commonly understood, which is like everything that you see on Instagram, TikTok, social media, or you commonly see in person. Like, those are the things that people are gonna gravitate to first because they're common, because they recognize it. And so as you do this self-work, as you change the way that you dress, as you change the way that you show up, you might feel like, I'm actually not getting as much attention as I used to, because you're completely changing who you are in the inside, and you're no longer doing things to please the masses. You're doing things to please yourself and please the people and the things that you're going or moving towards. You know, if you start to change the way that you are, and you're a little bit softer and kinder and more loving, and you feel like, hey, I'm not getting attention. Hello, I changed the way that I dress, and I'm like respecting myself, and I'm really showing my personality through the way that I dress, but I feel like I'm not getting attention. You have to ask yourself, what kind of attention was I getting before that was better than what I'm getting now? And like, all that glitters isn't gold. A lot of people who have to be the center of attention, have to be, you know, always telling people who they are, what they are, dressing a certain way in order to get that gaze. There's a lot of work to be done on the inside. I say that to say, in order to get a diamond, you have to mine through the rubble. The rubble is what's common. The rubble is what's easy to recognize. The rubble stands out. But once you get past the rubble and you've mined a little bit and you've worked your way through some of the more common rocks, you're gonna hit that diamond. You didn't see the diamond at first. The diamond didn't stand out at first because there's just so much rubble on the outside Think about this whenever you're changing yourself for the better and you're like, things in my reality aren't necessarily changing in the way that I thought they would exactly. It's because not everything that is amazing stands out. Let's even think about like this quiet luxury movement and like high fashion and all these different things. Sometimes you won't recognize a $100,000 bag or a $700 pair of jeans because you don't even know to look for it. You don't know what it looks like because it's not as common. It's not on everyone's page. It's not, you know, plastered all over ads because you don't even need an ad. For quality, you don't even need an ad. It speaks for itself. So when you think about yourself, think of it like that. Think about it like that quiet luxury where only the people who know are going to be able to recognize it. And you know, the common folk, they might not see it. The last thing that I will say that is just going to just change your aura and just change the way that you stand out as this girl is move with love always. You can tell people who are rooted in love because of the way that they react, the way that they speak about people, and the way they just like, literally, I feel like they float through life. They're light. And I've really been in my Bible lately, and it's like, even if you listen to the way that Jesus speaks to even the people who turned around and stabbed him in the back, it's like he's firm but gentle. He doesn't force, he doesn't use, you know, slander and unkind words in order to get his point across. Just he removes himself from the situation, or he waits until time reveals itself. So whenever you're dealing with things that are hard, or you're dealing with people who might be harsh, or you're dealing with people who, you know, might want to antagonize you, or even if you previously haven't been the healthy one in relationships or the kindest person, start rooting yourself in love and doing everything that you do because you love yourself and because you love people, full stop. People can feel that, and that is like the most softest, most powerful thing. Like, I swear, someone who is rooted in love like walks through a room and you can just feel like this is a good person. You want that. You want to be that good person. Again, you don't want to put on this makeup and the hair and like look the part, and then as soon as someone meets you, they're like, her energy's off. There's no confidence there. There's no love there. Love. Root yourself in love. I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. I love these tips. I feel like I use and implement these tips in every single thing that I do. And if I knew this sooner, I would already have been transformed tenfold. These things are really important as you go through the journey of becoming your best version of whatever the it girl is. And that girl, the girl who stands through the test of time, the girl who just shines and sparkles and is elegant and is soft and is feminine and gets everything she eventually wants, even though it might take a little bit longer, but she's doing it the right way. That is you. I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.